Usual Sunday stream. I'm going to be doing another deck profile today, and hopefully we'll grab some matches if we can find some opponents. I was leaning towards doing white-black today. Mainly because I really like Mordanoth aesthetic, and I've been trying to find a list that I'm really happy with him for a while, and after his recent buff, I think I finally did. There are a few places he's commonly played, like in the blue-black with all of the ice synergy, or in my preference here is in white, where there's just a lot of fodder for him to use. As I don't believe we've had any other particular deck request, I think we're just going to go ahead and roll with this, just because I want to get some time playing with my boy, the Dracula here. So, let's get to it. This is an older list that I'd neglected for a while. I believe I played it back in the dev tournament a little bit. Hey, Mine Lord, thanks for stopping by. It took me a while to get it up to where I was happy with it, but it definitely got there, especially after he got buffed. But basically the core idea behind it is using Mordanoth and Elsevier in conjunction with a lot of units, though primarily from Pack of the Wolves. That gets us a ton of extra bodies, plus we've got a relatively high unit count, at least compared to what I often run. I suppose I am usually around the 20 unit mark in most lists, because that feels good, but I tried to put a few extras in here, and don't forget that number is higher than it looks because Pack of Wolves supplies a lot of bodies, Northern Hunter supplies an extra body, Crypt supplies a lot of extras as well. We're not actually a Tombstone list, but Crypt is just a good enough card in general that it can fit into any deck that has a lot of units. Pretty much the only time you don't want to run Crypt is if you're a unit light list, or you're a list that's really focused on keeping units alive. But we are absolutely just running cannon fodder. So Crypt fits well here, despite that we don't have any other Tombstone synergy. I did try the deck out a little bit with some more Tombstone synergy, but it just didn't really feel quite right, at least not for Mordanoth. Now, white-black Tombstones is totally viable, but that'll be something for a different day. So let's go over all of the individual cards here. So obviously, Mordanoth. He is the reason we made this list. Compared to most dragons, he's a little bit on the small side, but he also comes down the earliest. He also has a bit of a pricey mana tag, but because we're running druids, that doesn't hurt so bad. We have a bit of extra mana, given lots of dragons are technically more expensive than him, mana-wise, but they tend to have reduction effects, where he does not. It's just straight 6/6. You gotta be able to afford that, which is pretty hard to do in most lists. But thanks to running Lumbering Oak and Elsevier, we don't tend to struggle with our mana. So, and onto his ability here, he sacrifices a unit, be it a zombie or a wolf or back-to-back, which will give him an incredible amount of sustain. His ability to sort of sit on the back line and cause explosions all over the place, or to be able to trade with a dragon and then run away and get his health back is pretty cool. While he can be a good early offensive tool, where he really shines is when you're trying to play that attrition game, where he has the ability to trade with multiple dragons thanks to his sustain. So he's pretty cool if you can get past the hurdles of his costs, not to mention the cost of sacrificing a unit. So Elsevier is the other guy that loves having lots of things around that are going to die, and he has even further synergy with Mordanoth, because, Mordanoth can cause things to die, which is really cool. And he can just give this deck an incredible incredible amount of mana. We are on the little bit of the high end mana-wise, but if you get an Elsephar, you're going to have more mana than you know what to do with. If you don't, well, then you can effectively, take that out of that mana cost, and you're looking at 28 there, mixed with Lumbering Oak, so you're effectively at like that 25 mark, which is, usually right where a deck wants to be, and that way you can afford those Mordanoths. Not to mention we do have a Draconic Temple to pull out our Mordanoth and reduce him further. So this deck definitely gets over that mana hurdle that it usually has with him. And thanks to the excess that Elsephar can create, we don't feel bad playing our Pax or our Northwood Hunters, which are just really good cards as well if you can afford their mana cost. Naturally, my Singleton Dracula that I tend to run in pretty much every Necromancer list ever, just such a versatile card, and that first time you play him, you get that Dracula's Castle, so it is incredible. He is absolutely a card that's good enough to run more than one of, but not many lists really want to do that, but pretty much every list wants at least one so they can get Drax Castle and a bit of extra sustain. Speaking of sustain, you know me, I don't like losing to aggro, so I've padded this deck's anti-aggro kit a little bit. It's not quite as strong as a lot of my Crusader variants, and while technically Druids do have some heals that can match Crusaders, I'm not a big fan of them because they tend to be ritual speed or cost mana or something along those lines, but they have a few that are really good, Fortify being one. One of the better cards in the game. While it doesn't offer that big armor like Dragon Shield, it also doesn't come with a mana cost, and it does come with a heal, which is very cool. We already touched on Oak, just pretty much an automatic pick for most Druid lists unless you're pretty mana light. Early body plus mana gain, really solid. Crypt speaks for itself, especially with all the units we're running. Dampen is here as a pick that I've been playing more and more often lately. It's not a particularly good card, but I play it a lot anyways because it gives us some card draw, which can often be hard to come by, and it's really nice. And more importantly, it can serve as a very weak Fortify or a very weak Dragon's Shield in response to a damage spell. But 50% is nothing to sneer at. That's actually technically more mitigation than Fortify does if they're throwing a big damage spell at you. But most importantly, we're running it for the draw, and of course the fact that we're not really using it to protect our units. We're using it to stop losing to some of those big combo decks like Amplify Kraken or Amplify Wotan. Those decks that run those really big rituals that if they go off, it's just game over. While they may not be the most consistent lists in the world, this ensures that even if they get a good hand and get their big fancy wombo combo down, you can cut it in half and be pretty well. So it's a wonderful tech slot, and if you're not running into one of those combo decks, you can just play it anytime you have spare 2 gold and draw a card with it, and in a pinch it works as a sort of a bad Dragon Shield too. And for castle or otherwise. It's really cool as though, while it won't usually happen, is that you can catch multiple rituals with it, which is another neat card. So it's not a good card, but it fits really well and gives you this wonderful tech slot that helps prepare you for a lot of sketchy matchups. On to another part of our anti-aggro suite here. Another mana sink here. Dark Magician's mana cost is pretty expensive, but again, if you manage to stick an Elsephar, you're generally going to have more mana than you know what to do with. Or alternatively, if you're just trying to survive an aggro that is all in on the early game, you're not really worried about your late game mana. All you need to do is stabilize early on, and you can get your mana back later. If you stabilize versus a super aggressive list, you tend to be in good shape, and you can make your recovery slowly after that once they've gassed out. Not to mention, having a little bit of an AoE source, Mordanoth also helps and ensures that you're really good against rats and similar things like that. So Dark Magician gives us an AoE, potential for big heals, just a solid card all around if you can afford the mana cost, which this deck usually can. Hawk I just really like as a 2-drop. While its offensive power isn't the best, it has enough to 2-shot a mana tower, so you can just be aggressive, run up, hit a castle, then take out a mana tower, or it's pretty good at playing defense because it can, block a spot being a flying unit and slowly peck away at things that are bothering you. Just a really solid, versatile unit. If your goal isn't to, be an aggro deck, this card is really good. I like to play it in most of my Druid 2 slots. On the flip side of that, we have Scout, which is like the premier, efficient 2-drop. Like, if you want to win trades, if you want to be aggressive, if you want to just hit hard, Scout's your man. Like, most lists would like to run a Scout if they can. The only time Scout tends to get skipped is if they have some particular synergy, like they're actively going for flying, or they're actively using their 2-drops for mages to take out other flyers, or they're using their 2-drops as more of like tech slots for healing and whatnot, or buffs and stuff. So, while he certainly doesn't fit every list, he is definitely the, premier, efficient early game unit that's super well rounded. So I put him in lots of places. So, again, speaking of, yes, I despise losing to aggro. Centaur gives us another helpful little anti-aggro tool. His heal is very small, but it certainly adds up over a game, and being able to heal units is pretty cool too. So we don't have any one particular really strong anti-aggro card other than maybe Fortify. We have lots of things contributing so that we're in pretty good shape. And he's just solid all around. Cavalry with controlled healing. He's just pretty good. Drain Life is probably our best anti-aggro card, unless you're up against Absorb aggro anyways. But even then, you can always, target a castle or something. Just a big heal that you can put either on an Elsifar, your castle, and its removal when you need it to. Just really solid all around. Between Drain Life, Centaur, Dark Magician, Fortify, and Dracula, this deck is pretty good about dealing with aggro lists. Not quite as efficiently as some of my Crusader decks, or if I wanted to run, I have considered running like Regrowth. Like, that is a big, giant heal, especially if you're running a lot of things and you want to keep your Mordanoth healthy, but it's just, I don't know, it's always a little bit slow. Being Ritual Speed, as good of a card as it may be, I don't usually find the room for it. I like having lots of smaller heals that are much more versatile and faster, at least in most lists. Like, it's definitely worth running in the right deck. Or, Wild Healing, that mana cost turns me off. Like, it's really efficient, especially being burst speed and having an area. So it's cool, but the mana cost turns me off, and it doesn't come with draw or anything. It is just healing, and that is all. Regenerate is another option, which can be really good, but I'm not real big on most of the per turn cards, just because they're a little finicky. Like, sometimes you can't even get more than, if you can get 3+ procs, they're really good. But that's just not a guarantee, and I like my consistency. It can be a good card, but not really for me here. Or, Restore, just the nice vanilla option. But yeah, I picked the options I did, not because they are the most efficient at being anti-aggro tools, but because they are the most well-rounded and versatile. So, Northwood Hunter we touched on, gives us a good ranged unit, little weak on the stats there, but doubling down and giving us a wolf, pretty cool. Just a really solid card all around. Temple, we've already talked about, and Pack of Wolves, and that is one of the stars of the deck. The deck's main thing is using Pack of Wolves in conjunction with Elsifar or Mordanoth to just really create massive swing turns. I'm pretty happy with the deck. I went through quite a few variations, but I finally settled on a list that I like. It's got enough early game and anti-aggro tools that deals with aggro. It's got, some really big threats, so it can handle other late game decks and can trade with other dragons, and it can just overwhelm most lists. This list I've been referring to as Dead Beast for quite a while, even back in alpha testing. I believe I do need to credit Redmaster for originally throwing that name out there, although I think he had something entirely different that he used that name for. I believe it was mostly focused around the ritual side, running bear patrol and whatnot. But I really liked the name, and he sort of stopped playing around with it, so I sort of just adopted the name Dead Beast, which is, I mean, it's appropriate. Like, we are running wolves and necromancy, and yeah, Dead Beast is generally what it gets referred to as, and giving Red some of the credit that is deserved for that name. So let's hope there's somebody online so we can grab a match or two. Hey, look, there is somebody. It is my lord, our sole viewer and person willing to play with us right now. Although I will go ahead and drop a message on the Discord and see if we can drum up a few other people to play with, as that generally does the trick. Well, there's not a real active lobby scene unless it's during that sweet spot of the day, like around 5-ish. Generally, if you go on the Discord, you can find somebody to play with. Alright, so in your opening hand, you generally want to dig hard for a crypt and an opening play. Let's see, if we're up against white-blue, deciding between Hawk or Scout's a little tricky, but I'm going to go for Hawk just because it's a little more versatile. I really want to dig out either an Elsephar or a crypt. You know, that's what you're generally looking for in these mulligans. Well, yes, Mordanoth may be the star of the deck. You don't want to see him early, but you definitely want an Elsephar, because if you can find an Elsephar, then you just don't have to worry about mana ever again. And obviously, you know, early crypts win games, so those are the two things you're looking for. Like, Elsephar is the enabler for the rest of the deck and can be a win condition on his own, just he gets really big, or he gives you the mana that you're going to need later on for those Mordanoths. So you're always digging for Elsephars and Crypt, and you want ideally at least one of each here. Hey, there's our boy there. So we're in pretty good shape. You know, now what we really want to see, I think I'm going to drop the Crypt now, since there is a strong chance that yeah, I think if those two both attack him, he might survive. However, if he does survive, then I can okay, well, that did the job. And since we're on initiative, we will be getting that Crypt proc. We do need to decide between Hawk or Centaur. Well, I think Hawk, obviously, so we can get that Crypt proc. I think we're going to stick it here, that way we can go over and snag that Shaman. Okay, so he is protecting the Shaman from the zombie, but he can't really protect it from the Hawk, given that that Shaman can chip away at the Hawk. Alright, I think, yeah, let's go start working on that Shaman. And let's take out the tree while we're at it here. Who will win that race between Hawk and Shaman? It's probably going to be Shaman, but if we throw a Fortify in here, that's going to change things. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I think we're definitely going to Fortify that, because we really don't want to lose another unit until we get our Elsephar down. So let's go ahead and Fortify that. Alright, well, we're not going to get a Tombstone because we fortified. So we're not worried about crit. So now we need to choose between Drain Life, a Hawk, or a Centaur. Drain Life's not going to feel great because he's almost certainly going to kill this zombie. If he doesn't, it'll be great, but I doubt that zombie is going to survive. So let's just drop the Centaur, protect our face from this Berserker here, because what I expect him to do is use the Wolf to get that overpower on the zombie, and then tag the Hawk. He's going for the heal on the Shaman. Can we kill that Shaman, though? I think we can. Okay, actually, the Centaur... Centaur... Okay, we can definitely kill it if we come down here and expose the Shaman's back. I think we could have done it even without doing that, but that will guarantee it. And we're not going to lose any of our units this turn, which means we'll get the chance to get our Elsevier down, so that if we start losing units soon, it won't hurt too bad. I don't expect... Yeah, I think this is just a good Elsevier turn. The question is, do I want to play it more aggressively, or do I want to hang it back so it can help us deal with the Berserker? I think I'm going to hang it back, because, we're really not trying to push for an early win with Elsevier. We want him to just generate us a ton of mana as the game goes on. So I'm going to hang him back so he can punch this Berserker. Ooh, okay, well that became a big threat. I might even just pull the Centaur back. Yeah, I may just go ahead and sacrifice my Hawk. Well, I really do want to damage this Deadeye while I have a chance. That's going to be too important to ignore. So let's go ahead and get a little bit of chip damage on this Deadeye so it is at least not having its maximum range. And now the question is, do I want to get more damage done to the ranged units, or do I want to be thinking about pulling the Centaur back? I think we're probably going to want to pull the Centaur back. What I'm going to do is, I believe if I move into this Berserker space, it will come down here. So I'm going to take a small risk. I'm still... Yeah, I was pretty sure it would come down there. This way it ensures that Centaur will be able to reach it. Never mind. I was wrong. Centaur can't quite reach that spot. Oh well. That's okay. Berserker's not going to be strong enough to kill off that crypt anyways. I think we are just going to pull our Centaur back, see if we can get some use out of his healing long term here, and he can potentially help us clean up that Berserker. Given that Berserker can kill the Centaur, but I just didn't want him dying for free to the ranged units. I expected a thirst for battle, but he's playing that now when I'm on initiative, so that will largely work out in my favor. That does mean I am going to lose this tombstone, but I wasn't really counting on that tombstone sticking around anyways. Okay, so now we get to clean up this Berserker. Very nice. He's really just trying to get maximum use out of that exotic growth here with that Thirst of Battle, which is a really neat trick. Wait a second, why did Centaur die? It showed he was only going to take like half his health. I mean, this is fine, but I could have sworn he was going to survive that attack. Maybe, okay, right, Berserker's one of those boys that has an unusual... Well, no, because the range shouldn't have come into play. It was either going to be max or not. Oh, well. But it happened, it happened. Let's see. Alright, if I move... I do want to get the Elsevier back onto the aiming towards castle route here. That does keep him out of reach of those ranged units. Yeah, that Deadeye is pretty big. It's going to be a problem for us here, because it is now out of Drain Life kill range. Ooh, getting really spooky. So I think what we're probably going to do is we're going to drain life it just so we can keep its health low now, because that health percentage will transfer over when it levels up. And this way we can go ahead and move our Elsevier in and let him heal up a bit. So I believe Drain Life, Scout, and Crypt is the play here. I don't want my Scout to just get pegged by a ranged unit before it has a chance to attack, though. Since I'm not on initiative, I guess I will just play the Scout back a little bit, and we'll call that good. Yeah, that is a very big sniper, and it is about to get a lot bigger. And Drain Life's really our only backline removal in the deck. Centaur sort of can be, but he can defend this sniper pretty well. We're mostly just going to have to try and do as much damage to it as we can early on. And then hopefully sneak something to clean it up a bit later. Yeah, we're not running knights. Yeah, most of the things in our deck are fairly vulnerable to ranged. That being said, we should be able to power our way through here. Hopefully, anyways. Yeah, well, it's pretty much automatic that we're going to just Drain Life show how much it will heal. No, it doesn't. But either way, we've sort of got to commit to that. We need to keep our Elsevier healthy, and we need to get as much damage on that Deadeye as we can right now. Yeah, I'm going to pass again. I want him to do what he's going to do here. As long as you take one action, at least one action, you won't get in too much trouble. Alright, I don't want... Actually, I suppose I don't mind if he does turn around and kill this Scout, because that'll take both of his things, and then I'll get to reanimate the Scout. So let's go ahead and push the Scout up. And now he has to choose between killing it or giving me back initiative and keeping it alive, which is sort of a lose-lose for him. His best play is actually likely to... he did it. He did exactly the best play. Heavily wound it, but not actually kill it, which is probably the best he could do right now, because if he'd killed it, then I would have been able to get my Crypt off on it and do more damage. This way, I have a very weakened unit. But even though it's in a weakened state here, I'll be on initiative, so I can still trade in and make a zombie, which will be very nice. Although we're in a bit of an awkward spot, we're probably going to just drop the Draconic Temple. A little hard here. Just this line of snipers is a big issue for us right now. And I don't know if Mordanoth's really going to help us break those ranks, but I think we're probably going to have to go for that anyways, because Dracula will definitely just get picked off. Same with a Hawk. Although a Hawk would give us a tombstone potential, so that's certainly something to consider. I would like to get my Mordanoth, but Mordanoth really isn't going to help us against these. That being said, if we play... And I think we need to go for the Mordanoth, just because otherwise we are just wasting our gold here. Yeah, this way we can still get a tombstone proc off of Scout. And that does give us enough spare gold for Fortify, given we don't really want to use Fortify. That's okay, Mine Lord. Alright. So he's defending his backline really well, which is definitely the way to go. He's not giving me any clear lines to get there, even if I do get some zombie action going. So I think I'm just going to sort of give up on trying to go for that Deadeye right now, and we're going to do the zombie play off of this wolf. Yeah, let's do it off of this wolf. That way we can get a zombie who can do some damage to this archer. And yeah, we're just going to keep him right there. That way nothing can get at his back. I suppose technically he could get at his back if he advanced the hunter forward and shot it in the back, which might be worthwhile for him to do, but considering that would put it in a vulnerable position, probably not. Yeah, no, just clearing it with Deadeye. Boy, that is a big Deadeye. Seems to be the way to go here. Well, I'm going to go ahead and move up a zombie and pass back, see what he's going to do. I probably want to move up my Elsevier, but I don't want to do it until he's moved some of his units. And I'm also okay with just hanging back with Elsevier too. I might actually just need to hold him back even more, because I do not want him to get picked off by these archers. That being said, we do have some defense, so I think we're going to go for it. Yeah, I believe our next turn play will just be to defend him a bit and keep pushing. We can always pull him back later if we want. It's a little risky to move him up now, but he's not going to do us much good against this sniper backline if we just try to hold back forever. We do need to start getting some damage in. Now, my best bet is probably to try and find a pack of wolves, because that will be able to chew through to that back line. But since we don't have that right now, we're just going to have to work with what we got. If we have to pull Elsevier back, we can. Right now he's right here in the middle, so he can go back or forward depending on what is needed here. And Mordanoth's also a nice play to drop. It's a shame we don't have any good sacrifice targets for him right now. But I suppose we could get one with a lumbering oak. That's going to be a little bit awkward because our gold is a little bit tight right now. I think we're still going to be dropping the Mordanoth regardless. Because even if he does snipe it a bit, it can heal itself. But now the next question is, what do we do with the rest of our gold here? Do we go for an oak? Yeah, we're not going to be able to get an oak into position to do anything. If we play a hawk, then we don't have room to play crypt or fortify. So, I think perhaps I should have frontlined the oak. Frontlining the oak where Mordanoth is would have probably been my best option. But mistakes have been made. I do want to get it at least out on the field here. So we'll do that, and then we'll leave ourselves a gold to have some options with. Chewing off the zombie, probably a very good bet from him, since that ensures I don't have a good target for Mordanoth. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clear this oak, and then maybe fortify my Elsevier. Yeah, I think that's the plan. So we'll clear the oak, and now while he can get some decent damage onto Elsevier, this will make it not very appealing. And his other target being Mordanoth, having the ability to heal itself, is also not a terribly appealing target. So I'm just going to pass it back where he's in sort of a lose-lose scenario here, and see what he does. Now I really want to find a wolf pack. Like, that is the last part of our combo that we're missing. If we found a wolf pack, we could have just overwhelmed him. Okay, he just went for the one little snipe there. Well, I have two options. I can just pass back again and force him to either end his turn or move stuff up, or I can pull Mordanoth up out of range and move up this lumbering oak. But if I move up the oak, there's a chance he can kill both it and the tombstone, which is not what we want. But for him to do that, it means he has to move stuff up as well. So I think I'm actually just going to pull Mordanoth out of reach of his Deadeye, and we'll move up the oak. Ah, he did bring the fairy up. Which means, well, he can still split the fairy, so. But it's definitely an awkward. Ooh, that's gonna hurt, especially with him on initiative. Guess I should have just passed and forced him to move up. Alright. Well, now he'll get to do something pretty neat. So he'll get to beat up. Ooh, I might lose my Mordanoth to this. Since I don't have the gold to heal him, I was not expecting a thirst here. Alright. Okay, well, that was probably the best we could hope for there. Unfortunately, Mind Lord has made a critical mistake here. He has missed his opportunity to attack with ranged, and now he's given me the opportunity to kill this Fairy Queen before it has a chance to split, which is the best we could have hoped for here. It was in a pretty good position until he gave me the Fairy Queen. And since Elsefar's still fortified, I'm good with moving him up, and since we'll be on initiative, we're in a pretty good spot now. We were pretty scared there for a moment. That thirst was going to get some work done. Alright, so we're definitely going to want to get a Mordanoth play here. I think my best bet's probably going to be dropping a Hawk, which will serve as some nice sacrifice fodder for Mordanoth. So we're going to sacrifice Hawk, raise the Tombstone, advance with Mordanoth, which means we can't afford to play this right now. Instead, we're just going to fill the board up here. Alright, so we're on initiative, so we'll get to Swooper Hawk in to get some damage done, and hopefully, if we're lucky, the sacrifice will kill that archer, which will clear the way for our scout to get in there and hopefully kill off that really big problem, which it did, so we will. Yeah, actually, we're just going to use the zombie to clear that off. Since the scout's got more movement, the scout can either come back to help. Alright, but yeah, let's kill that off, because that's our main immediate threat. Alright. He's unfortunately made another small mistake here, as he has now given up both of his snipers. That being said, we do want to still just be careful with Mordanoth. Not going to advance him. Just gonna hang him back to heal. Yeah, GG. You had me on the ropes there for a while, but the moment you sacrificed your Fairy Queen without splitting her, it was over. Had you pulled off the split on her, that would have been a very different game. I'm not sure who would have come out on top, because it was a big misplay missing that Fairy Queen split. That just completely changed the course of the battle. Had you managed to split her, she would have probably been able to kill that Mordanoth, given he would have still taken out some or all of the fairies. However, he would have been dead in the process. Alright, so we're going to keep our opening play. Actually, we're not. We have enough opening plays in the deck that we can safely ditch that and hopefully find a second one. We're not up against aggro colors, at least traditionally, so we can afford, we really want to find that Elsevier or that Crypt. Although the pack is tempting to keep, but I think it's a little early to keep the pack. Okay, I like this. Now we have, well, we didn't get some of our big plays. We did get a perfect curve and one of the key parts of the deck, so I'll take it. Are we up against Tombstorm? It might not be Tombstorm, it might be Crew Tomb. Tombstorm being a deck I've already done a deck profile on. Very powerful. Although it has taken a couple nerfs recently. Ooh, okay, I'm liking our hand more and more here. So dropping it. Okay, it is Tombstorm. This is going to be a tough match. This is a very strong list. Alright, so summons sort of prefer going down and then clockwise. So dropping her here will put it right behind the mage, which, because we have initiative, we'll be able to get the wolf out to body block. This would get the wolf in range of skeletons and give us the body block. So naturally, first we're going to set up our body block, but then we need to decide, do we want to shoot the... I think we're going to shoot with the Magician while it's still at nice and full health here. Question now is, do we... wound? Yeah, let's just go for another wound here. Call that good. And he's in a little bit of an awkward spot here because he has to choose between trying to clear my front line here or dealing with this Lumbering Oak before it gets to do its thing. So, well, I did lose my Magician. This means I do get my hit on Castle. And now I think we're going to go for the kill on the smaller crewman since it hasn't acted. Well, we could wound the scout. Taking a unit out before it has a chance to act is a pretty good deal. Ooh, we even got our Crypt. So while we are not a Tombstone list, Crypt is excellent at dealing with Tombstone decks, so pretty happy with that. We're not on initiative, so I could try to... I can protect my archer a little bit. Not perfectly, but a little bit. This way he can only hit her with one skeleton. Ooh, Grave Robbery. Yeah, that card is ridiculously strong. I believe it is on the chopping block for nerfs. Alright, here, so I think we're naturally... I think our plan is actually... How much? I might be able to do a 1-2. I'm going to go for it. It's a little risky. I can't quite tell. Let's see. 13 plus 9. 22. But then that 20%. Okay, quick math. And I think this will get the kill. Okay, yeah, yep. So we got our 1-2 with the overpower, which is what we were hoping for. He's making the right play here and taking out that tombstone before I have the chance to get use out of it. However, I will be able to just kill this other skeleton, which means I will still get my tombstone. Oh, never mind. Honor of the Fallen has been used up. I was wrong. Okay. So, Pack into Elsevier is this deck's main jam, so I think we're just going to go for it. Doesn't mean we won't get a Crypt proc this turn, but that's okay. We really want to get this Pack down so that we can transition into one of our main combos here. I think I'm actually just going to pull the archer all the way back and shoot this, because we don't want him to be able to get a lot of free damage on our Crypt here. Since we're, yeah. A little bit tricky, but I think I'm just going to keep the wolf and the tree steady here. Because if either die, we're going to get tombs, and we want to hopefully get a tomb to stick around for next turn. So we're just going to pass, which might have actually been a mistake. Perhaps I should have attacked with the oak, because now he's going to get a lot of action since I passed like that. But with them set up like this, it's going to be very hard for him to kill them and the tombstones. But he's using his excess actions very efficiently. Right, okay. I will get the one tombstone to survive, although only just. Fortunately, with him having moved in here, he's sort of spawn blocked me a little bit, giving me not a good... I do not have a good place to play this Elsevier, but I will play it here just to protect my hunter. After all, we don't need Elsevier to go and try and win the game right now, we just need him to refill our mana. Huh. I could have sworn I was going to be on initiative. And that's okay. Alright, so let's do our 1-2 punch with the wolf. He's taking his chance to beat up on Elsevier while he's weakened. But we're also going to take some chances to get some nice overpowers here. I would prefer to go after the Dark Magician, but I think getting some overpowers while we have the chance is a better bet. gave me a tombstone. That was a bit risky on his part. Alright, well, we won't have the opportunity to kill this magician, but we can at least beat it up a bit. If I move my Elsevier forward, yeah, I can afford it. If he wants to take a shot at it with the magician, I can live with that. But that is the play he's taking, and a good option too. Let's go ahead and keep our tombstone safe here. And unfortunately, my own stuff is blocking where I want to send the wolf, but that's okay. We'll just work on chewing up this scalp. Another crypt here, but I think we're just going to hold out for probably both of these, actually, to fix this little issue right here. So, we're just going to pass, see what he's got. We are rapidly approaching the Vileroth turns, which is going to be a problem. Although if we get Elsevier big enough, he can hopefully go toe-to-toe with Vileroth. So yep, we're just going to pass. Okay, well now we know for sure Vileroth could be coming next turn. So we're definitely going to take this overpower while we have the chance. Not any real good targets for this. So we may just go for another couple of powers here. Actually, I think I am going to go ahead and deal with this. Yeah, because we don't want him getting that free D level off of Banshee here. So let's heal up our Elsevier a bit. It's gonna mess with our 2 units over here, but that's okay. He's doing his best to beat that Elsevier up, which is absolutely what he should be doing. So we're probably just going to go for a Mana Tower here. He's very careful with his Honor the Fallen there, definitely the right. That's okay, we've got a backup. So let that happen. Take a Mana Burst. Not that we probably need it with what we've got going on here, but that's okay. Start bringing Elsevier down. Not moving her up very much. I could, but I actually just want to position it so I can get a crypt there. There's his own crypt. Not going for the Vileroth right now because he's just working on setting some other stuff up. So let's get our crypt down. And let's go ahead and get another pack of wolves down. Because that's what this deck is all about. Just spamming those massive waves of bodies so that we will get the chance to get that super buffed Elsevier here. I'm just going to try and clear this Banshee. Get an overpower off of that one, which would be nice. Continue moving Elsevier back down into that castle threat range here. I don't know if I really want to attack that zombie head-on with this wolf. I don't think I do. I'm just going to get this wolf primed to take out that tombstone. So yeah, it'd be very nice to take out his crypt, which we just might be able to do. We want to save enough to get our own tombstone use here. Don't really need this right now, so I think our plan will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we have a plan. Hawk, meanwhile, can threaten his mana tower, given he has so much mana that he probably isn't worried about. Yeah, we don't want to play this while Roth is a problem here. So let's go ahead and proceed with the plan. Work on killing that crypt. Is that enough? It is. Good deal. So now we can finally clean off that crypt and get some health back for Elsephar before we start doing our trades. So we really just want to work on killing this this Valroth now. Not on initiative, so I want to be careful not to give him a free path to my Elsephar. So another grave robbery is going to be a bit of a pain. That's okay. We're just doing as much damage as we can to this Valroth. And I'm going to pull this hawk down just as a... Well, actually, I'm not worried about that Valroth hitting my... Yeah, I'm just going to move Elsephar up. If he wants to trade into level 17 Elsephar, I can live with that. Wait a second, did I miss my... Oh, that was his zombie, not mine. I could have killed that. Oops. Well, yeah, I think that is still going to be our play here. I don't want to keep it away from the Valroth, though. Yeah, those tombstones are going... Yeah, let's just protect our mana tower a bit. Bunch of zombies here. He's pulling the Valroth back. Interesting. Alright, well, we want to get our hunter out of danger. So let's start with that. Let me just go ahead and finish that Valroth off with this. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's top off our Elsephar just a little bit more here. We definitely have more mana than we're going to use this game, that's for sure. Sure hope we start seeing some of our mana sinks, like Dark Magician and Mordanoth. First things first, let's get a zombie here. Yeah, I think we're just gonna start beating up on this Norbon, because it is a bit of a problem. And then let's go ahead and bring this Dracula up. Start cleaning up some zombies. And he has another Valroth. You know, that can be a threat. We're on initiative, so we don't mind this tombstone sticking around. Yeah, I'm just gonna move this rusty hooks. This can be a bit annoying. And we'll see if he wants to move his zombie up or not. And he does. Okay, that makes our decision easy. It's time to just start marching that Elsevier up for that OTK. Okay, now we're going to start getting our own dragons to work with here. Very cool. Our game plan's been very slow to come about, but it is all coming together. That is a big Elsevier, that is a lot of mana. There's his follow-up, which will definitely be able to chunk my Elsevier. So I think, first things first, raise this tombstone. Then I think we go ahead and shoot that Valroth, get a little bit of damage into it early on. Alternatively, we could punch him with the zombie, because otherwise the zombie's just going to die to Norbon, but since Norbon can just turn around and shoot the other zombie, let's go ahead and get some chip on that Valroth. I suppose we can do both, can't we? Yeah, let's do that. Let's just do both. Both is good. Yeah, that Elsevier is so big that not even a Valroth is really getting the job done. Oh, Dracula can come in for the cleanup, but I'm actually going to focus on... I don't want to give him the opportunity to use this tombstone, so let's take that. We can always come and clean that up in a moment, and let's keep this zombie... Actually, a little tricky still. May as well mana burst. Not that I need it, but... yeah, I don't want to give him a tombstone just yet. Actually, I think I might just pass. Yeah, alright, we'll just pass. Basically, I'm making sure that when I kill this Valroth, I will also be able to kill its tombstone, so he can't get any Norbon value this turn. Ah, I guess he's going to force some Norbon value. Given he does not have the gold to raise them right now. So yeah, let's go ahead and... where do we want? So, Norbon... let's keep Dracula way out of reach of that Norbon for now. Can't actually kill that tombstone. But I'm going to go ahead and wound it. And just Elsevier is a big threat, because it is getting very close to being able to just one-shot that castle. He's sort of in a tough spot. Like, he has to get damage on it, or it is going to kill that castle. However, if he brings the Norbon up, then, of course, that puts him in reach of that Elsevier. So he's going to be on initiative. Basically, he needs another Vileroth, or this Elsevier is about to win the game. Like, if he's got another Vileroth, he'll be... I can answer with my own dragon here. But pretty much he needs a Vileroth now, or he loses to Big Boy Elsevier here. Because Elsevier has just been hanging around since sort of the beginning of this game. That's not a Vileroth. Alright, I do believe that will be game for us up against another very strong list. But yeah, let's go ahead. Oh, actually, he's made a very good play here. He is going to keep himself alive with that rusty hooks. Very cool. Let's see. I think we're going to just plop the Mordanoth down. That rusty hooks will buy him probably the extra time he needs. I may as well throw down this oak just to protect my hunter from that little zombie onslaught here. That's a lot of zombies. Yeah, this game is definitely not over. Okay, and he just might be able to finish off that Elsevier. Drain Life won't quite do it, but then he will be able to bring in the Norbon, maybe even a zombie. Now I could just sacrifice him, but we're just going to let this happen. So I might as well get a trade while I can. He has survived. Yeah, let's take another whack at that. I don't remember. Did I use my crypt this round? Let's get this Mordanoth closing in. Okay, I did not use my crypt this round, but I will still get my chance. Closing in with this Mordanoth here. Oh, he grave robbed my Elsevier too. There's nothing really worth sacrificing right now, so we could get a little bit of health back from this lumbering oak. I don't think that's worthwhile. I'd rather... because that'll... I mean, we will be on initiative, so... that healing. Yeah, I think we do. It's a little awkward, but we're going to take it just for the heal here. Centaur. Nice. Sort of that cavalry movement makes him just a guided missile for that Mordanoth. And Mordanoth is... managed to only block there. Alright, so I think our plan's going. Actually, I might just clear off that Norabon. Like, I could try to force my way in with Mordanoth here and get a attack on Castle, but I think he has enough body blocks, he's going to be able to prevent that no matter what. So let's deal with this Norabon before it causes us any more troubles. I suppose we should. We're not in a rush to do that. Yeah, let's go ahead and take out this hooks. This has been a really cool game. Just going for the trades. Okay, just the one. It's going to be able to take a pretty good chunk out of Elsevier, though. Just bring this zombie in. Add a punch, and heal up our Mordanoth. Suppose we may as well clean that zombie up while we're at it. Let's also get him in the perfect position to heal up himself and Dracula. And Elsevier, Elsevier is definitely getting pretty big here. He's going to be able to chunk my my Mordanoth pretty good. He's on initiative, so if he can draw a Vileroth, he may be able to turn this around. But short of another Vileroth, he is going to be in trouble. This has been a truly epic match. Alright. That was not what you wanted to be seeing right now. I guess we're just gonna draw spam these dampens. Okay. I think we still do want to just save the gold for Mordanoth and Crypt and Centaur. Well, it would be nice to get this out. I think it'll be better to just try to force our way in here. He's doing his best to keep this onslaught off. Let's go ahead, get a nice little heal here. Go ahead and shoot him as well. Suppose I may as well. Okay, Dracula does a lot more damage to Castle. We do want to start chipping away at that. It's that Typhoon. I guess perhaps we should have held on to a dampen, but that's okay. We haven't gotten a crypt use, so I think we'll go ahead and trade in with Centaur. Now we can get crypt. Just trying to get to that point where we can kill that Elsevier here. Hey, that'll do it. So move this. I messed that up. I should have attacked with this one and sent the other one in. I missed a little bit of damage on Castle, but that's okay. Just move that up. Sacrifice it. Now we can deal with this Elsevier. And we're in pretty good shape now, because even if he drops a Vile Wrath, we're going to be on initiative, so we're going to get a chance to punch this castle with Mordanoth no matter what. And between him and Dracula, that may be game. Has certainly been an epic match, though. We're definitely going to throw down this pack of wolves, just on the off chance we can't win. We need to make sure we save enough gold for Crypt and Mordanoth, but there's no reason we can't drop a Centaur. Yeah, Crypt is not going to save him. I do believe that will do it here. I don't even need the sacrifice explosion, just the centaur poke was enough. But, going all in here. Truly epic match against another very powerful deck. GG indeed. That was an incredible match. You played really well. You didn't draw enough Vile Wraths. I think that match mostly came down to draw. You played really well, and you just only found one Vile Wrath, unfortunately. Had you gotten a couple more, you would have really been able to put the hurt on, as you would have been able to kill that Dracula and my dragon, because Vile Wrath hits like a truck. But unfortunately, you gassed out and just couldn't find any. Only found that one Vile Wrath, despite having 3 Vile Wraths and the Dragon Temple. It's a little unlucky. Did you change the list at all, or are you just using the one from the featured list? Just gonna try to give some other folks a chance at a match here, but I'm happy for another rematch if you want. Wait, did I deal with 2 Vile Wraths? Wow. Gotta dial back on the talking for a little bit so I can have a snack while we're going here. Interesting. Did he beast mode his own demon hunter? That's a little strange. Demon hunters are a really good unit. So, since we know he's going to kill my Dark Magician either way, I'd rather keep his units on his side of the board rather than mine. I'm going to go start working on his mana tower with my Hawk. So that is one of the big reasons to include Hawk in your list. Oh, I see. He was willing to beast mode his assassin because he's got all that beast synergy. Got it. What is the other level 7 beast option? Oops. Gave up that free trade from my centaur, unfortunately, but that's okay. I can kill at least one of these. Can I? I think I can 1-2 punch with Damaged Wolf, and well, we'll find out one way or the other shortly here. Right now we're just trying to keep the board even while we wait for all of our big plays. Ah, were-rat. Right. I should have known from you're playing Structures and Fat Bard and Purple-White, and not to mention who I'm up against. Rats is where it's at. That makes sense. Beast moding into a were-rat. Hadn't thought of doing that before. Neat. Let's see if our 1-2 punch will work. Hey, it will. Good deal. Which means we should also be able to do it with this other one, too. Alright, getting lots of cleanup going on here. I think I am just going to pull back to defend my mana tower. Trading into this is not going to feel good. I could alternatively trade the Hawk and body block with the Wolf. But I think we'll bring the Hawk back for defense and just... Actually, I'll be on initiative. So I'm going to move the Wolf forward here so I have options. Well, I think we're going to call that good. We'll just hang on to this for later. Hey, there's our boy. That's exactly why we did not trade in our wolf right away. I think we're just going to go for a fairly aggressive Elsevar this time. We've got a few things to trade in. We've got this few ways to protect them. Yeah, we're just going to do that aggressive Elsevar this game rather than that very long con we did last time where I started him at the top left corner here, about as far away from castle as possible, just so he could gain an insane amount of value. So we'll probably just... Oh, he's going to play his own Elsevar, though. I think we're definitely going to be trading in a couple wolves to this panda, no matter what here. But I think actually I'm going to come down and... Well, no. Yeah, I'm going to kill that panda. It feels such an awkward position to be in. If I kill the panda without damaging the Elsephar, he'll get max value over there. But if I don't kill the panda now, then he can go cause some havoc at my base. Okay, that's fine. We're not against aggro killers. So I'm going to go ahead and get some work done on this Elsephar before it has a chance to grow. We're going to get a bunch of damage in on that Elsephar early. That way it won't have the chance to grow up as much as it could. And this way we don't bring our Elsephar away from his castle. We are just on the pain train here. So we're just going to toss away the stamp just for the card draw. Hey, pack of wolves, very nice. I think our play is probably going to be pack and this. We do still have those as an option as well, but I think we're definitely committing to this pact. Yeah, that'll be a pretty big swing. And while this does mean he can kill his mana tower, we do have an Elsephar on the field, so we are not too worried about losing our mana. So first I'm going to go ahead and... Actually, I'm not worried about the panda still. We really just want to get as much damage as we can on this Elsephar while he's still under level. So we're going to trade that. Did that a little bit backwards. Should have done it the other way around because healing is more efficient the lower your level is. But it's going to be a small difference. Rats versus wolves here. His Elsephar is definitely growing faster thanks to the rats. Do I want to move in, though? That is the question. His Elsephar is bigger than mine. No, I don't think I do. I'm just going to hang tight. I can move in next turn with these. Although, if I do move in, that means I'll be in castle threat range, but he can also just block with his own Elsephar since Colossi cannot push other Colossi, so we're just going to hang tight back here. And is he going to block castle, or is he just going to pass back? Okay. He's going to leave that opening to castle, which, again, might be a good play. It's hard to say here. He's just trying to see if I'll move my Elsephar up first. And then he has to choose between defending his castle or advancing towards mine. Oh, he didn't do either. Interesting. Ooh, that'll be a nice follow-up, but I think first things first. Let's give him a little defense. Pop down a centaur, and we'll call that good for now. There's that Emergen. Alright, yeah, this is definitely my white-purple dedicated rat list. It's a really solid list. I enjoy it. Just, rats can grow Elsephar at a speed. I think, yeah, we've already done a deck profile at it. You can just grow Elsephar at an incredibly alarming rate with rats, and then you run Emergen, not as a win condition, but just as a way to anti-aggro and keep your Elsephar feeling happy. Now the question will Does he defend his castle, advance, or just hold the Elsifar back? He's probably going to hold the Elsifar back just because he doesn't want me to get a trade in while I have Fortify. But that being said, trading in is still not going to feel good. Ah, this is your list, my lord? Very cool. I wonder what you've changed. I'm always curious to hear how others are running theirs. I think we do still just want to try to focus on beating up that Elsifar. Probably should have done my healing with my centaur before I traded those wolves in, but oh well. Yeah, I think we may as well advance with our Elsifar at this moment. I had a mana burst for good measure here. Yeah, we've got a very strong follow-up turn to come. Demon Hunter. Oh right, yeah, I don't run Beast Mode or Demon Hunter in my list. I wonder, what did you trade out for those? Ooh, big hidden in the walls play here. Now, obviously going to fortify our Elsifar again, and but no, I think we want to go for Big Boy over a second Elsifar. I probably should have played him below the Centaur so he could be a little more aggressive, but this is fine. Doing his best to keep his Elsifar healthy here. Come up here. Yeah, we're going to sacrifice some of our potential healing just to get some big damage early, clear out some of those rats. Although, that actually may have been a big mistake, as I gave quite a few levels to that Elsifar there. That's okay, though. Alright, let's go ahead and just punch now before we give him any more levels. Alright, got that. Got him below that 2% health mark. Alright, both Elsifars dealt with. Can I clean up the Emergen, though? That is the question. I believe I will be able to. Up. And power. And then we'll be cleaning up the Demon Hunter with our Scout. That way we can... Oh no, we'll do it with the Wolf. It's just that'll get that overpower. Now we can bring Mordanoth up. And close in with the Scout as well. Alright, that was a very productive turn for us. We have a nice firm lead. I could play both, or I could play one and save a sacrifice for Mordanoth, but I think we're going to go for both here, because missing out on a sacrifice on Mordanoth, not the end of the world, especially when we can make such a big 1-2 play like that. So, yeah, first things first, just gonna come in here and get a big ol' whack on that castle. And then let's get some overpower action from these wolves. Actually, now we're going to poke this Elsevier first before it has a chance to gain any levels. Definitely getting some mileage out of those Sushi Shack spare actions. He's pretty much going to need a fortify. Well, actually, how much damage is this Elsevier going to do? Yeah, okay, so he's going to survive probably no matter what, thanks to that Elsevier trait on that Mordanoth. But we'll see, because once I get Mordanoth's ability to go off, that's going to freeze the castle. It's just going to... Yeah, it won't be enough to kill him with either of those. So, yeah, we'll see. This could still go... I think I have this one secured, but he can at least put up a good fight still for a little longer. Whew, that was real close there. If he'd played his Lumbering Oak down below, he actually could have killed the Mordanoth, which would have been a huge deal. Unfortunately, not getting that Oak down below is probably going to cost him the game. Had he been able to clear the Mordanoth, he may have had a chance, but I think he was also fairly gassed out here, and I had a pretty overwhelming presence. If you got a rat tunnels, that might do the trick. Nope, looks like Mordanoth is just barely going to survive here. Which means he'll get his chance to get his sacrifice off. So he'll get some health back. Although, again, I probably did that backwards. I needed to focus on trying to kill this Mordanoth, or his Elsevier, before killing stuff, but this is okay. Yeah, this is pretty well over. Even if he had managed to kill the Mordanoth, I don't think there was much he could do to stop the follow-up Elsevier here. Yeah, using beast mode to get extra were-rats is a pretty cool idea. I wonder if getting that were-rat rather than a panda early on could have made a big difference in this game. Probably could have. But let's just give Mordanoth the meal he's hungering for and close that game out. Alright, so it looks like Red's here to tag in. Thanks for stopping by and playing Mindlord. Alright, Red is bringing his black blue. which could be his new project with Thirst and the dot spells, or it could be his own Mordanoth list. We don't really want any of this. I mean, Dark Magician maybe as an opening play, but we really want to dig for that Crypt and Elsifar. Hey, we got the Crypt and the Elsifar. Good deal. Now we just need and an opening play. And we'll have guaranteed Mordanoth. Now we're just missing the Pack of Wolves. Oh boy, okay. We have everything. Like, beautiful hand here. Beautiful. Yeah, unfortunately, Panda does mess up that plan a little bit. Is we're at level 7 or is he level 6? Because if we're at level 6... Okay, where we're at is level 7, huh? Yeah, so cool idea. Could be really strong when it works, but it's definitely a gamble. Well, we don't have another play, so we're going to drop the Crypt. It's not great because it's vulnerable to this Banshee now, and we don't really have anything that can protect it, so that may be a big waste. But that's okay. It's not the end of the world if we lose Crypt. Yeah, Beast Mode is a solid card in general, like the ability to turn an Elsifar into something else. So it's just a really versatile card in general. That being said, Beast Moding an Elsifar is going to likely result in a T-Rex, or no, a Fenrir actually, because it depends on how much Elsifar has leveled up, since while it won't keep the buffs, it will convert to the nearest level. Alright, well, let's get this Hawk down to start trying to deal with that Banshee to hopefully keep our Crypt alive. We are likely losing this Crypt, but we'll see what happens here. Yeah, Beast Mode into Fenrir used to be a popular deck. Alright, catch you later, Mind Lord. Alright, he's dropped his own Crypt now, which means he will almost definitely be killing my Crypt. But let's try to keep it alive at least for a little while here. Well, yeah, we are just very awkwardly going after each other's Crypts here. I doubt like, he's probably going to clean up my zombie before it can deal with that Crypt, but it depends what he's got to play. I've still got another turn, maybe 2, but I think only 1. Well, maybe 2 once I get a Hawk shot in. We'll see. I think we go for the Pact, because Pact into Elsifar is our main shtick here, after all. I'm going to be aggressive with this. Alright, so I'm going to play the Pact all the way down on the bottom here. That way I'll still have a spot to summon Elsifar, threatening Castle. Well, I will still get a chance to kill his Crypt. Woo! Because I'll be on initiative, so I will get to kill his Crypt. Good deal. He's going to get to kill mine too, but oh well. Ah, he's got the follow-up. crypt, and I do not, sadly. Well, I think we still take this chance to deal with that. I may as well. Okay, I will get another, just a tiny bit more mileage out of that crypt. Not enough to likely actually get a use out of it, but that's okay. Curse of Rot, and sadly, I no longer don't have the gold for dampen. That's okay. That's definitely going to beat my Elsifar up quite a bit here. No matter what, we're going to move some stuff up. There is still a question of whether I move Elsifar forward or not. And I think we're going to be pulling Elsifar back if he survives at all. And I'm gonna just do my best to try and keep him safe here. Because now his job is not to win, and it's just to make me some mana. Probably going to drop a temple. Yeah, I think our play is going to be temple and maybe, yeah, probably temple and magician. So let's go ahead and actually let's drop the magician here, and we'll get the temple up here while we have that opportunity. Sadly, that is goodbye, crypt. Let's beat up on this chain lightning a bit here, get some Elsifar value. Do something a little bit strange. I really want more Elsifar value. Okay, now we're going to do this right. We're going to just try to not take any unnecessary chain lightning damage. I was briefly considering intentionally taking chain lightning to try and kill an extra wolf or two, but we're going to have enough mana thanks to the Draconic Temple to play Mordanoth either way. So, yeah, let's finish this off. And I suppose we may as well beat up on that crypt a bit while we're at it. And I may as well take a shot at the Banshee. I think I'm going to pull the Hawk back, actually. This way I can protect my... that was a mistake. I no longer... Now I can't kill the Banshee. Oops. Oh well. That's where I needed Dark Magician go to kill the Banshee, but I was also just a little nervous about killing the Banshee and leaving a tombstone there. Oh well. We're just going to sacrifice the Magician a bit here to get that job done still. Yeah, I think we are just going to keep holding Elsevier in reserve for now. We'll have a nice clean Mordanoth. Giving us enough spare gold for either his ability or a dampen, depending on what gets played. Unfortunately, we won't be able to kill that tombstone, but we can severely damage it. I'm going to take one shot at the tombstone. I want to kill that Banshee. It's a little tricky. No, let's just beat up that backline tombstone a little bit more, and then we'll see what he does. He's likely to trade the Banshee and then res the full health tombstone. Yep, that's sort of what we thought would happen. It was solid play. So rather than trying to get an attack off with Mordanoth, I really just want to get Mordanoth into... Oh, okay. Yeah, we can still do it if we just sacrifice this wolf. I just want to get Mordanoth as close as possible to that castle there. Oh, he's dropping a cemetery. Yeah, I think we let it go. And we'll just sacrifice this wolf to kill off the zombie, a tombstone, and damage some other stuff, which will also clear the way for Mordanoth to really get in there. And now I could siphon, potentially finish off that tombstone, but we are trying to get enough mana for a second Mordanoth, so I think we're just going to leave that tombstone be. This way we can potentially... Let's see, okay, yeah, if we just spend all of our resources next turn, we will be able to play Mordanoth, but I don't really want to do that. I'm just going to get rid of this tombstone, because I am tired of seeing it. And besides, we've still got our mana generator alive for the moment. Let's just move that up, and I think, yeah, we're still just gonna hold back with our Elsevier for now, because we really just want him to sit there and make us mana. And this way we can play some stuff to block him and keep him safe. He also can't really afford to target the Elsevier too hard with this Mordanoth in his face, and with his 4 mana, there isn't a lot he can play. Well, that's not entirely true. If he does a Shattering Strike Freeze combo, he could do a lot of damage to this Mordanoth, but that's a big threat in his face. I expect he's lining up a Norabon play with that cemetery. There's the Norabon, and so he's going to bring his tombstones back and then presumably try and block the Mordanoth with a zombie. Which... let's see, zombies... yeah, I think we'll go for the hunter. And then maybe the centaur? Just because the centaur can reach where we need it to. Yeah, alright, so... I'm going to go ahead and hold on to this dampen rather than playing the scout. Just in case he's got another dot spell to throw down. Come in with the wolf. Okay, we'll sacrifice the wolf, which will now clear the way for our Mordanoth to win the game. Short of a wins followed by shattering strike. Oh, I guess just wins alone. Yep, there's the curse of rot, but we can dampen that. And that will do it. Big boy Mordanoth getting work done. Red's coming back with same colors. I wonder if he is running the same list, or if he's switched over to his Mordanoth mirror. I think I'm going to keep the scout. Well, I do want to dig for a crypt. I do want an opening play, and since I'm not replacing my full hand here, I want to make sure I keep an opening. Alright, solid. Got good curve. Double Elsivars, a little awkward this early, but I'd rather see too many Elsivars than too few. So we definitely want to try and beat up this Arctic Explorer before a blizzard comes down. Killing it now before it has a chance to get big is always good. I'm on initiative, so I'm just going to play my hunter forward, which keeps the wolf in range of castle, which means I should be able to 1-2 punch that tombstone with hunter, and then wolf can go either after castle or whatever new threat he puts down. There's a crypt. So we're definitely going to start with a 1-2 punch on this tombstone. Pull her back a little bit. And then we'll run our wolf up here. Now we might go ahead and fortify our scout here, just because we like to keep all of our units up until we're ready with Elsevier. So our play this turn is probably going to be Hunter and Fortify. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's see what we draw. Fortify, or Dampen. And then now let's go ahead and drop another Hunter. So we've got a lot of bodies on board, so Elsevier will get good value when he comes down next turn. And we can also clean up that Banshee without losing any. Levels here. I'm going to... I really don't want to threaten. I'm going to bring Scout just down here out of the way. Alright, so we cleared the Banshee without taking any level loss. We kept our whole field alive for Elsevier, and we're starting to get some work in on that crypt. Yep, looks like probably go just a nice aggressive Elsevier this game. We keep working on this crypt, and we take out a tombstone. Actually, we can kill the crypt. A little unfortunate, because Elsevier can't advance by doing that. I guess I should have moved our 2 forward, so that was a small mistake on my part here. But that's okay. And let's bring her down. Heat that up. Clean up another. Actually, let's clean up the one that's by the mana tower so we have access to that. Wish. Yeah, messed up with my hunter placement. If she was here, then I would have been able to advance with Elsevier. But that being said, keeping Elsevier on the back line for a little while till he's had some time to move up is never a bad deal. I may just go for the second Elsevier at this rate. Ooh, actually, no. Yeah, we're going for a crypt. Turn those tombstones against him. Follow crypt on his part. Perhaps I should have placed my hunter a little more aggressively so I could have targeted that more. Pretty good spot. If he tries to go after Elsevier, we can dampen. If he doesn't, we've got Dark Magician and Crypt. He's having to kill his own, killing his own tombstones to try and mitigate the value I'm going to get off of my Crypt. Let's get an overpower here. Then let us kill his mana tower with the zombie. We can then start working on that crypt. And now we can bring Elsevier up. We're just gonna not use this one gold, just gonna hang tight with it for the moment. Gonna bring Dark Magician up just a little bit so she can get in range of nice large burst around that. And next turn will probably be another Elsevier. Yep, let's just go for the second big boy here. Red's definitely in a pretty tough spot here. I've been dealing with his backline crypts, I've been hitting his mana. Basically, he needs to be hoping for either a freeze combo to kill these Elseviers, or alternatively trying to work towards a big Yenneroth or something along those lines. Oh, the Magician ability was enough to kill the Crypt. I didn't think it would be, but getting work done. I probably actually should have traded the wolf and used Crypt. Missed a good opportunity for that, but oh well. So now he's going to be able to kill my wolf and snag my tombstone. So didn't play that perfectly, but that's okay. Interesting. That was an odd play on his part. Willingly taking the extra damage and giving me the tombstone. Like, I did get him away from the zombie up there, but he just caused a whole other host of issues by doing that. He will be on initiative, though, so get an opportunity to do something to try and recover, but it is looking pretty bleak for him. Doing his best to slow the march of Elsevier. A hard thing to do in his position. Unfortunately, he's taxed his mana beyond the point of really having any hope of playing a Yenneroth. He still might be able to eke out a Mordanoth, but even that's going to be tough. Yeah, the lack of Blizzard this round is definitely hurting him a bit. So I guess we're just going to hold on to the rest of our hand here. We've got lots of options. If he plays a spell, we'll dampen it. If he doesn't, we'll still probably end up just spending the dampens to draw cards, but we'll see what happens here. Cemetery. I'm going to dampen this cemetery. I also think we can... I can't quite kill that. But we can dampen again for good measure. Giving him a single tombstone out of that. And we want to be playing our dampens for the card draw anyways. Yeah, I don't see any possible outs for him to recover at this point. Yeah, he's throwing it in now. That was a pretty rough position to be in. Okay, he's bringing out the mono red. So I've been hoping to get some good aggro games in. Well, I don't know if his mono red is actually like hyper aggro. I think it's more of the fire based with the Craxus top end, Pyromancers in the middle, and just some good early threats. So this will be a match I'm really curious to see how it goes. I still think we'll win, but I want to see how much trouble it can give us. Having that Pyromancer in particular is just a big old problem of the unit in general. Like Pyromancer can wreck our wolf packs, it can hit our back lines, it can put pressure on. Yeah, the combination of Pyromancer and Craxus could give us a run for our money. If he is geared more towards the aggro side too, that'll be interesting. I think we're pretty well prepared for aggro though, between our various heals and our early game units. Should come out on top of this exchange here, because we'll be on initiative, so we'll be able to finish that off, although we will more than likely use the Hunter to kill the... Actually, I think we're going to throw down a Crypt, since I have my doubt Scout is going to be surviving through this round. Although Red may specifically allow it to survive now that I've played the Crypt. Well, we're still going to commit to killing this and keeping some stuff in this back line. That Flame Prince is definitely a concerning threat, and he's pushing it forward so he can threaten my Crypt, which is definitely the right way to go here. So I think I'll be turtling up, and I'll drop the Scout here to... Okay, so he's definitely on fire. Yeah, I think I'll just drop the Scout to protect my Mana Tower. But I want to save a little bit of... Actually, okay, yeah, we will play the Hunter will give us just enough spare gold to use a crypt, and this will let us get a lot more damage on that Flame Prince. Okay, we're not going to get that opportunity, but bright side, that does mean we'll get a little bit more work in on this Flame Prince before it can do anything impactful. I could play the Elspar right now. I don't know if that's really a great plan. Like, I don't think any of our stuff is going to die this turn. I don't want it taking damage, so I may just go for another Hunter. As well as maybe a Scout. Yeah, okay, I think we'll go for the Hunter. And then, yeah, we'll throw down a Scout just to keep some pressure up on that back line there. Now, I might be wrong. We may end up losing units, and that means we're both losing Elsephar value and Crypt value, but I think more than likely we'll be able to kill the Flame Prince with one archer. Actually, we'll probably wolf that, pull this down, shoot the thing, and ooh, I have Flame. Okay, so our Crypt stays are numbered, that's for sure. Alright, so we know we're killing this, the question is just how. I think we're going to just push the wolves up. Well, yeah, so there's not going to be anything for that to target. So I think first we will pull this archer to safety, shoot here, move up one space, clear that off, and that'll give it back to red. This wolf up, and then I think we'll pass, because I'd like him to move the sim forward so I can finish dealing with it. But if he doesn't, that's okay too. And he's playing it safe, so we'll come up, take a whack at him with the wolf, pass back again, see if by some strange miracle he'll move that, but he won't. Alright, so we're alright. We lost our wolf there, which is a little unfortunate because we really wanted to get an Elsephar down first, but so perhaps I should have traded with the wolf, but this is fine. Now we can get the Elsephar down with enough spare gold for that crypt. Given I don't expect that tombstone to stick around, but hopefully something else will die. There's that pyro. I knew that was going to end up being a problem in the long term here. Out of reach of the archers. Okay, well, we know we're going to play the Elsephar. That's happened. And then we will save a gold for that crypt rather than dropping it over. Pyro's definitely going to get some serious work in here. Didn't target the Elsephar. Interesting. I do have to make a... Okay, no, it's a pretty clear choice. We're going to make this zombie come beat up on that pyro and advance the Elsephar. That will be the end of our crypt and our mana tower, but that's okay. We did at least get a rock out of crypt, and thanks to Elsephar being here, we should be okay mana-wise. We're still going to rebuild our mana tower, though. And I think we'll go ahead and play another archer. Actually, I don't want to save some for a drained life, because I expect he's going to be beating up Elsevier this turn. So we're just going to drop a Hawk instead. And call that good for now. Give us enough to drain life. Alternatively, we can Mana Burst if we don't end up losing any units. That way, we'll be able to play Mordanoth next turn for sure. He's doing his best to beat up on this Elsevier. Eye of Flame, there's no way he can avoid it, that Colossi movement. I think we know for sure we're taking that out. And I guess we're just gonna punch with this zombie, see where that gets us. Yeah, he's playing it this way, so I'm not getting any else of our value. Which is okay. We sort of planned on that being the case, which is why we saved enough to either drain life or to Mana Burst. Oh crap, I thought he'd already moved the Imp. I should have passed instead of Mana Bursting, because now he has a chance to play some sort of big spell here. Plays an Incinerate, we'll have regrets. But if he doesn't, then we're okay. Ooh, Pack of Wolves is another strong option to be considered here. Mordanoth is nice. Ooh, yep, there's that Craxus. Ooh, that is going to hurt. Yeah, okay, I think we're going to go to the Pack of Wolves, drain life. Mordanoth can come later. Although... yeah, that's our plan. That definitely hurt. So let's come trade in here, get a little value on Elsevier. Let's go ahead and shoot that Craxus when we can. I think we... go ahead and attack with the Elsevier now. Ah, crap. I should have healed him first. Oh well. Trade the bird in. Now we can heal our Elsevier. Lost a little bit of damage there, but hopefully won't get punished for it too hard. And with those couple trades, we'll now have enough mana for who Elsevier even survived. Very nice. Looking pretty good for us here. Don't have anywhere really good to play this Mordanoth, but that's okay. And we will go ahead and just save enough for Dampen and Mordanoth's ability here. We'll get a nice punch from Elsevier before he goes down. We'll probably actually trade a wolf into the Craxus first. Just get a little more value on Elsevier there. I actually might just do the sacrifice. A little bit tricky here. So if I bring the wolf in the back here, I can get the ice on the castle, which would be awfully nice. But I think instead we're just going to... we're going to lose archer if we bring out one of these wolves, but that's okay. Let's just go ahead, get that max value right there. Now we get that nice big punch on Castle, and he has very little choice but to... Well, okay, he can do it with the Furnace Knight. The Furnace Knight is big enough, so... he's likely to kill Elsifar with his Furnace Knight and ram Praxis into that archer before it can get any more work done. Still probably be dampening. Yeah, well, we'll see. Small misplay there. If he'd done it the other way around, it would have saved just a... probably like 1 hit point on that Furnace Knight. Alright, well, we definitely come clean up the Craxus. And shoot while we can. Bring in a wolf. And let's play the dampen. See what we get. Nothing special. Sacrifice that. Clean that up. Get another hit on Castle. And protect our archer. Yeah, Red's definitely gotten short end of the stick a lot lately. You know, him and I are often pretty evenly matched, but recently he's been having a pretty rough streak. Yeah, I think you are. Largely my only viewer today, Mine Lord, but that's okay. I'm glad to have you. And there have been some folks watching the VODs later, so it's doing okay. Alright, so let's see here. I think we're definitely playing another Hunter, and probably a Dark Magician for good measure. Actually, Living Oak here, Dark Magician here. Yeah, we're just gonna sort of largely empty our hand, hold that in reserve to both bluff, and this way we have enough to mana tower in Mordanoth. But I do believe just a wolf is going to get this job done either way. The sacrifice alone did it. I expected to have to come in behind with the Dark Magician to finish it, or an Archer, but I'll take it. Don't know if Red actually wants another match here or not. And we might be calling it a day here. We have been at this for 2.5 hours, so if Red wants another match, we'll give it to him. If not, we'll take a few minutes to spectate what's going on over here before we wrap up for the day. So it looks like Mine Lord's back on Tombstorm, and Odin is running mono yellow, which presumably means Knights and Craxus, or it could mean Craxus and Joff. Okay, I don't think Mine Lord is on Tombstorm. I think he's on Crew Storm. Sure. Or he could have mixed them together. Or Tomb Crew. Well, he has played the I think it's just a variation of Tombstorm. Sea Witch is just a really good card. I really like fitting it when I can. So, I figure may as well just watch this game all the way through, and then we'll call it there here. No. Odin, aka Vect. Is looking closely at our list here. I don't think it deserves a nerf. It was pretty hard to get it feeling like a top tier deck again. I don't know if I want to answer this question. I don't want him to go after it. We only just got Mordanoth buffed. He still feels like likely the weakest dragon. Do I be slightly dishonest and say it's white black tombstones? Yeah, totally. It's the tombstones, so it's Circle of Life's fault. But I wasn't actually playing Circle of Life, and my only tombstone card was Crypt. I'll let Red answer. Okay, here's how I do it. I have been playing a lot of white black just because I like the theme and combination in general, so I can, rather than pointing the finger at my Mordanoth and such, I can broad strokes here. Not that I'm against pointing things out. I don't think the list is a problem, and I don't want it to be on the slot for nerfs here. Nah, I best just be honest. Alright, well, let's get back to commenting on what's going on in this game, rather than just lurking in the chat defensively. So, Mind Lord is trying to get good value out of the Sea Witch. He's finally brought it up into the fray here to start trading. Odin's got his Craxus down, which is a pretty big deal, although it appears he's already, temporarily debuffed, but he is going to get at least one nice debuff off of the Sea Witch this turn. He's doing his best to keep things sort of feared away and hanging out. And the Sea Witch ritual. It's going to be pretty hard, though, because Craxus is just a bit of a nightmare to deal with. A Vileroth might be able to do the trick, especially after it's lost a few levels here, but Mindlord's not in a great spot. Okay, he's got his Vileroth now, so now Mindlord's looking like he's in the lead here. He's shrunk down Odin's field a bit. Vileroth can get some serious work done, and however, he is playing a little risky here. He let Craxus get a hit on Vileroth with, unfortunately Mindlord may have just thrown, because now Odin will be on initiative. He needed to keep that Vileroth out of Craxus's reach, and basically keep Craxus on the back foot until he can get a chance to hit him with Vileroth, because if you allow Craxus to attack, he gets that night block, so he takes, no damage. Ooh, second Craxus. And if the first one wasn't bad enough, that is probably going to do Mindlord in, since he has Vileroth in when Odin has initiative. He could have done this if he'd held Vileroth back and only moved him in once he had initiative, so he'd get the chance to kill off a Craxus, but unfortunately now he has basically traded his Vileroth for free. Okay, so I'm going to put the Mordanoth, though. Unfortunately, while Mordanoth is really cool and strong, he needs some time to get going. He's actually pretty weak when you first drop him. As we can see, these Craxuses are just, oof. Didn't even need the second Craxus. Just that Swordsmith is enough to clean it all up. And unfortunately, Mindlord had a pretty good shot at this match, but giving up that Vileroth to that Craxus Night block it was just too much. And then when Odin drops the follow-up Craxus, rough. Signs of the Cross, so any damage he does to these Craxus are likely just going to get fixed back up. Oh, curious. Priest didn't remove Serpent Witch's debuff. Oh yeah. Priest can also just undo all of the D levels. Really strong Crusader card. I run it very often when I'm playing Crusaders. Pretty much the only times I won't run it is if I'm running maybe a cemetery list that really needs a bunch of warriors and guardians, and there just isn't a slot for him, but short of that, Priest just about always makes an appearance. He's just such a good unit. And he doesn't fit everywhere, but he is awfully nice to have. This is looking pretty well over for Odin. Or not for Odin, it's looking fairly well over for Mind Lord, with Odin coming out on top. Yeah, being able to just priest away all of those D levels is crippling if it wasn't rough enough. Dealing with double Praxis. And we're going to throw down a verdict just to add some insult to injury here. Was he going to soul steal without any of his own units on board? Yeah, I think he was. He was just going to like shift the levels over to Blacksmith or something. There we go. Soul stealing again. Just move on to the Witch Doctor. Unfortunately, that priest is just gonna undo all those efforts. And even without the priest, I believe that Kraxus is enough to just punch that castle down. Kraxus is definitely a strong incentive to run mono. Well, let's call that a day here. We got an excellent showcase of Dead Beast here. Bullied Mind Lord and read a bit with it. And it really showed what it could do, given it did have a lot of good hands today, but it is just a solid, well-rounded list in general that I'm very happy with. Most happy about getting to feature my Dracula here. Love Mordanoth. So cool. He was so weak for so long. He's still not the strongest dragon, but we do have a place that he's very happy to call home now. So we will catch you all next